If you're 25% of the city population, then you get 25%.
Good afternoon and welcome to the afternoon session, the public hearing session of the Board of County Commission meeting here in Seminole County. The date is April 22nd, 2025. The time is approximately 1:30 p.m. Our first item up on the agenda is proclamation proclaiming May 4th through 10th, 2025 as Public Service Recognition Week in Seminole County. And I will read that proclamation in, and then Ms. Christina Brandolini will do the awards and recognition. Proclamation of the Seminole County Board of County Commissioners proclaiming May 4th through 10th, 2025 as Public Service Recognition Week in Seminole County, Florida. Whereas Public Service Recognition Week has been celebrated during the first week of May since 1985 as a time to honor the people who serve our communities as public service employees. And whereas public service is among the most noble, thankless, and demanding professions, and whereas over 1,600 hardworking, talented people are employed by Seminole County, and whereas in often difficult circumstances our employees work to protect and improve the quality of our life for our residents, businesses, and visitors, and whereas public service employees serve as frontline workers and first responders in times of crisis, leaving their homes and families behind to help the community recover from natural disasters. And whereas Seminole County residents are impacted every single day by county employees who serve in many valuable ways, helping to make life better and striving to meet the needs of a diverse population in an ever-changing environment. And whereas without public service employees at every level, delivery of essential services would not be possible, and whereas public service employees should be commended for their dedication and continued service to our citizens and community. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners of Seminole County, Florida hereby proclaims the week of May 4th through 10th, 2025 as Public Service Recognition Week, adopted this 22nd day of April 2025.
Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, like sign. Carries unanimous. Thank you all very much. And Ms. Brandolini, you're up, and we appreciate you bringing this to us today.
Of course. Good afternoon, Chairman and Commissioners. Christina Brandolini, Human Resources Director. It's especially fitting that this afternoon we will honor employees who have dedicated years of public service to Seminole County. Please join us as we recognize employees who have reached milestone anniversaries and retirements. Jose Gomez with Development Services will lead us off with the retirement of Howard Mueller after 20 years of service.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. So Howard Mueller's story is one of dedication, adventure, and unwavering commitment. A proud U.S. Marine Corps veteran, Howard spent several memorable years in Alaska before eventually planting roots in Florida. A true motorcycle enthusiast, he was well known for riding his Harley Softail Deluxe to work, rain or shine. Howard began his career with Seminole County on August 2nd, 2005 as a building inspector. He transitioned to the role of building plans examiner on January 15th, 2023. Beyond his professional accomplishments, Howard is a devoted husband, father, grandfather, and great-grandfather. Since his retirement on January 3rd, 2025, he's been savoring well-earned time with his family and embracing the freedom that comes with this new chapter. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to Howard for his nearly 2 decades of service and dedication. We wish him nothing but the best as he rides into retirement surrounded by family, fueled by adventure, and always chasing the horizon on 2 wheels.
That was good. Thank you, guys.
Next, we have Johnny Edwards, Utilities Director, and he will be recognizing Timothy Moy, Lead Instrumentation and Control Technician for 20 years.
Good afternoon. Johnny Edwards, Utilities Director. I'd like to introduce Timothy Moy, who started with Seminole County in January of 2005, who I think at that point in time, most of us remember most of Central Florida was recovering from Hurricanes Charlie, Francis, and Jeans, and it was a sea of blue rooftops everywhere. And it was also a time before mountain men beards were cool. and the 20 years since then, Tim has definitely, through his dedication, grown through the ranks, transitioning from student to teacher, is a mentor to many people in the department. and it's lead instrumentation and control technician, basically responsible for making sure that all the buttons and levers on the control panels work for the people that use them. Tim is supported by his wife and 3 dogs who love to vacation, as you can guess, in the mountains. And we greatly appreciate the work that Tim does, one of the many unsung heroes for the department in Seminole County.
Kim Ornberg, Environmental Services Director, will be recognizing Shannon Wetzel, Watershed Management Division Manager with 20 years of service, and Stephen Evan, Team Leader with 25 years of service.
Good afternoon. Kim Ornberg, Environmental Services Director. And yes, I want to thank having this opportunity to thank Shannon and Steve for their years of service. I know it's going to be a little bit sappy, but it's genuine and true because I am really happy to be here presenting these service recognition awards to them because they're 2 of the very best people I've had the privilege of working with since I've joined Seminole County. They represent the epitome of public service. They take pride in their work and they care for our community. They're always willing to help out regardless of the task, and if they see something that needs to be done or someone that needs help, they will volunteer rather than having to be asked. They always with a smile and a positive attitude, like pulling someone out of the mud when they've been stuck out in the field, me many years ago, more than once. Or volunteering to take on difficult situations or personalities with calmness and grace. That's why we call her Switzerland. They're both married and they have 2 children whom they're both very proud of. And for the record, Shannon is not married to Charlie Wetzel. She's married to Tim Wetzel. But I am very proud to have them on my team, and moreover, I consider them both my friends and part of my work family. And I want to thank them for everything they've done and continue to do every day. They've made real contributions to Seminole County, making it such a special place to work and live, and I thank them for all that they do. And Ronnie Hope wanted me to tell everyone that he loves you, Steve. Thank you.
Rick Durr, Parks and Recreation Director, will recognize Jennifer Robles, Customer Service Representative with 25 years of service, and Lori Stevens, also Customer Service Representative with 25 years of service.
Good afternoon, Rick Durr, Parks and Recreation Director, and we're, as Christina just said, we're recognizing 2 folks that have been with us in our library services group for a very long time, and we really appreciate their contribution to our county. We'll start with Jennifer Robles. She was hired in January of 2000 as a library page where she shelved books at the Central Branch, was then promoted to a part-time staff assistant position in 2001, and full-time staff assistant in 2005. By July 2007, Jennifer came to work at the West Branch, where she still works now. Jennifer started working towards her master's in library sciences in the fall of 2020 and graduated with that master's degree in August of 2024. She would love to eventually work as a children's librarian. Jennifer has literally grown up in the library. She went through finishing school, getting married, having kids, and now her 2 teenagers, a son and a daughter, now volunteer in the library. Congratulations, Jennifer. So Lori, Miss Stevens started her library career as a page, and you see a theme going on, shelving books at the East Branch. She was promoted to part-time staff assistant in 2002 and transferred to the Central Branch. She worked in the library's technical services unit and provided books by mail service to library patrons unable to go to the library in person. She later transferred to the North Branch in Sanford. Lori's 25 years with the Seminole County Library System has been marked by an enthusiastic commitment to our mission of enriching lives and engaging minds. Her fine arts and literary programs have blended well into the growing artistic community here in the city of Sanford. Lori's impact extends well beyond the library walls. The book clubs she founded at the North Branch now meet outside the library on a regular basis, and the members have built genuine friendships that have lasted for years. Next year, sadly, or not sadly from your standpoint, Lori will retire from our library system, and she will be sorely missed. But in the meantime, congratulations for 25 years of service.
Matt Hassan, Deputy Public Works Director, will be recognizing Derek Grieve, Senior Team Leader with 20 years of service, and Martin Butcher, Crew Chief with 30 years of service.
Good afternoon, Chairman and Commissioners. This is Matt Hassan, Deputy Public Works Director. And today we'll be recognizing Martin Butcher for his 30 years of service with Roads and Stormwater Division with Public Works. Martin and, of course, Derek. So Martin currently works for the District 5 team. He was hired as a maintenance worker on January 17, 1995. In 1997, he was promoted to an equipment operator and moved up to an equipment operator 2 in 2006. He became a crew chief in 2015. Martin skilled at doing roadway shoulder repairs and asphalt patching, as well as ditch maintenance. He can operate a variety of heavy equipment, but is known for his experience with Gradle. Thank you for your service. The second recognition is for Derek. Derek began his career as a senior team leader on January 3rd, 2005. He was promoted to crew chief in 2006 and his team leader and team leader in 2015. Derek has been the senior team leader overseeing District 2 and 3 since 2017. Derek is known for his natural leadership, skill, and commitment to quality work. He has been instrumental in working with human resources to promote careers with Seminole County. Thank you, Derek.
And now we have Allison Thal, Community Services Director, and she did say she was going to try to keep the recognition of 35 years for Catherine Schubert to under 2 minutes. So I'm going to time.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Allison Thal, Community Services Director. And I have with me Kathy Schubert. And Kathy is my Veteran Service Officer of 35 years. She's been with the county for 35 years, 28 with the VSO, but I'm getting there. So sit back, relax. We're going to go. So literally, Kathy came to Seminole County in February of 1990. She came from a small CPA firm and actually began her career in the planning division, where she started working with the impact fees. She worked there for about 2 years and then moved over to Public Works. And she worked in Public Works for 5 years. Then one day in October, about 1998, she was approached by a gentleman named Bill Scally, who happened to be the Veteran Service Officer at the time. And he said to Kathy, "Hey, Kathy, you should try becoming a Veteran Service Officer." And she's like, "Okay." He's like, "Besides, nobody wants the job, so you might like it because it could be interesting." So Kathy said, "Okay," and went home and thought about it. And she thought about it, and she thought about it, and she said, "You know what? That does sound pretty interesting. I think I want to try this out." So the rest, honestly, they say, is history. And Kathy has been our Veteran Service Officer for the past 28 years with Seminole County. Kathy entered DROP 3 years ago and was ecstatic when they extended the DROP because she automatically signed up. So she has at least 5 more years. So hopefully you'll be celebrating her 40th year in the next 5 years, because I don't think she's going anywhere. Are you? So one quick. So one quick note. So one just real quick note. Kathy's fellow veteran service officers love to tease her, and they literally say, "Kathy, I wasn't even born when you started working here," which is a true statement. Kathy, thank you for your service and for being the bedrock of my veteran service office. Thank you.
I have so enjoyed working for the county, and I do want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That concludes our presentation, so we'll do pictures for the proclamation and the individual service awards.
Absolutely. If you meet us down on the floor. what is happening. Oh, there he is.
We have a quorum. Let's get started.
Takes a minute.
All right, next item up is item number 25, reduction of lien request. This will be presented by Ms. Alexis Valley, Code Enforcement Clerk.
Good afternoon. Alexis Valley, Code Enforcement Clerk, presenting item number 25, request for reduction. This request encumbers 3 cases, and the violations for all 3, there's going to be uncultivated vegetation, rubbish, and abandoned vehicles. The request is to reduce the liens from $214,395.64 to administrative costs of $1,395.64. With assistance, the current property owner brought the cases into compliance. Summary of the first case is as follows. On January 27, 2022, the matter of abandoned vehicles came before the Code Enforcement Board, which issued a findings of fact giving the respondent a compliance date of February 28, 2022, or a fine of $100 per day may be imposed. On July 27, 2022, the Code Enforcement Board issued an order finding non-compliance and imposing a fine lien in the amount of $15,000 for 150 days of non-compliance to continue to accrue at $100 per day until the property is brought into compliance. The affidavit of compliance states that the property was brought into compliance as of January 27, 2025, making the outstanding lien total $106,856.46. Summary of the next case. On January 27, 2022, the matter of uncultivated vegetation came before the Code Enforcement Board, which issued a findings of fact, giving the respondent a compliance date of February 28, 2022, or a fine of $50 per day may be imposed. On July 27, 2022, the Code Enforcement Board issued an order finding noncompliance and imposing a fine lien in the amount of $7,500 for 150 days of noncompliance and ordered that a fine continue to accrue at $50 per day until the property is brought into compliance. The affidavit of compliance states that the property was brought into compliance as of January 24th, 2025, making the outstanding lien total $53,519.59. In the last case, on January 27, 2022, the matter of rubbish came before the Code Enforcement Board, which issued a findings of fact giving the respondent a compliance date of February 28, 2022, or a fine of $50 per day may be imposed. On July 27, 2022, the Code Enforcement Board issued an order finding noncompliance and imposing a fine/lien in the amount of $7,500 for 150 days of noncompliance and ordered that a fine continue to accrue at $50 per day until the property is brought into compliance. The affidavit of compliance states the property was brought into compliance as of February 3rd, 2025, making the total lien $54,019.59. This is a financial summary table of the case, and the 2024 assessed value is shown there, as well as a breakdown of all 3 liens. And at the bottom to the right, it's the grand total of the liens, which is $214,395.64. Review criteria. Deputy County Manager determined this request did not fail the Seminole County criteria based on the following: the amount of the lien as compared to the value of the property, the amount of the liens exceed the 2024 certified assessed value of the property, the actions taken or not taken by the property owners in attempting to abate the violation. The applicant reports that his medical, physical limitations have become major problems when completing daily tasks and maintaining the property himself, and has received assistance from prospective purchasers to remedy these cases as he is a disabled veteran. The amount of staff time expended. The non-compliance period spanned approximately 4 years with a collective 32.3 hours per staff affidavits. Request for reduced amount. The applicant requests that the board make an exception to its established guidelines and reduce the total amount secured by the liens to the collective administrative costs for the following reasons. 1, financial hardship. The applicant provided statements in his application outlining his financial struggles. 2, medical hardship. The applicant provided statements that he has medical conditions that made compliance difficult to achieve due to his physical limitations. Applicant requested action. The applicant requests that the board consider and make a final determination on the applicant's request for a reduction due to financial and medical hardship of the liens to the collective administrative costs of $1,395.64. And should the amount of the liens be reduced, authorize the chairman to execute a satisfaction of lien upon payment of the approved reduced amount, if any. That concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Any questions for staff? Is the applicant here wish to make any presentation or comment to the board?
The applicant is here, as well as the people that have assisted him, and they are here to speak on his behalf.
Okay, if you would, folks, please come up if you'd like to speak. And if you would just give us your name and address for the record as you speak, please.
My name is Harry David Billsborough, and I live for...
Dominique, if you'll ask them to come up to the other podium, please.
My name is Harry David Billsborough. I was ex-Navy since 2003. I live at 560 East 2nd Street, Chulliota, Florida. And about 4 years ago, I started to have problems with my health because in my 30s I had Crohn's disease. While I recovered from that, it required a couple radical surgeries, and as I got older, it's more difficult to deal with the medical expense and dealing with the issue itself. And I worked in IT for 30-some years, and more IT now is for younger people. And doing the travel I did, because I worked for 10 years for General Dynamics for doing Army National Guard projects, traveling was more difficult to do, and the contract had gone away. And each time I found work, it lasted for shorter periods of time due to buyouts, downsizes, and other issues.
Thank you, sir. And ma'am, did you want to say something?
My name's Andrea Tolbert, and just for the record, I think the case presented covered pretty much all of the issues, so I
Okay.
don't really have anything to add to it at this point.
Okay, very good, thank you. Anyone here to speak on this matter other than what's been spoken so far?
No, sir.
Seeing none, we will go to board action. This is Commissioner Delaury's district. Commissioner?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. After reviewing this application and talking to staff, I believe that the final determination of the application request upon reduction due to financial and medical hardships of lien, following liens, case number 21-76-CEB, comma 21-77 CEB and 2176 CEB for the collective administrative cost of $1,395.64. And should the amount of lien be reduced, authorize the chairman to execute the satisfaction of lien upon payment of the approved reduction of, as been talked about here today.
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion?
Yes.
Commissioner Herr.
I just want to read the case numbers again, because I heard it differently. It may have been said
Okay.
right, but just for the record, case number 21-76-CEB and 21-77-CEB and 21-78-CEB.
If I said them wrong, I apologize.
It could have been me. But we don't want you to have any trouble later.
Right, exactly. Okay. Commissioner Constable.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, since this gentleman has, this is three different things, and I support the motion, but I want to make sure that we have a support system for him so this does not continue. I mean, have you contacted the veterans, our veterans department or anything for help, sir? You know, since you said that you were a veteran in the Navy, and because each one of these things seem to be a physical concern that, you know, the rubbish or vegetation or something. So is there a way that we can help you so that this doesn't happen again?
Part of this is the property has become too large for me to take care of by myself. So it's just forcing a sale, and I'm going to move to or rent something that I don't have to deal with this type of stuff. Have I contacted VA mostly about medical stuff? The change in the job market, the VA can't help as much. They don't control the job market.
I just wanted to make sure that, you know, you're not out there and, you know, somebody's there to help. And I see you have neighbors that are also there, so that's good.
Yes.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign? Seeing none, carries unanimous. Thank you all very much for being here today. Next item up is item number 26, reduction of lien request. This will also be presented by Ms. Alexis Valley.
Good afternoon. Again, for the record, Alexis Valley, Clerk to the Code Enforcement Board, presenting item number 26. This is a request for a reduction as well. The code enforcement violations are trash and debris, uncultivated vegetation, and other objectionable unsightly matter. The request is to reduce the lien from $350,540.19 to administrative costs of $440.19. The previous property owner brought the property into compliance. The current property owners received the property through a probate matter in 2024. Summary of the case. The case was originally cited in October 2008 for the Seminole County Code violations of trash, debris, and cultivated vegetation and other objectionable unsightly matter. On January 22nd, 2009, the Code Enforcement Board issued a findings of fact requiring compliance no later than February 4th, 2009. A lien hearing was held on March 26, 2009. There was an order finding non-compliance and imposing fine/lien of $5,000, which will continue to accrue at $100 per day until brought into compliance. The property was brought into compliance on September 6, 2018. This is a financial summary of the case, showing the conveyance type as a probate order, the 2024 assessed value, daily accrued fines, and the total lien amount of $350,540.19. Review criteria. Deputy County Manager determined this request did not fail the Seminole County criteria based on the following: the amount of the lien as compared to the value of the property, the amount of the lien exceeds the 2024 certified assessed value of the property, the actions taken or not taken by the property owners in attempting to abate the violation, the previous property owners rectified the violations prior to current ownership, the amount of staff time expended. The non-compliance period spanned approximately 9 years, with a collective 10.45 hours per staff affidavits. Request for reduced amount. The applicant requests that the board make an exception to its established guidelines and reduce the total amount secured by the lien to administrative costs, or not to exceed $5,000 for the following reasons. The current property owners did not cause the violation. There is a prospective purchaser interested in the property who, upon reduction of the lien, will potentially purchase the property and make sure compliance is upheld. Applicant requested action. The applicant requests that the board consider and make a final determination on applicant's request for reduction of the lien to the administrative costs of $440.19, and should the lien amount be reduced, authorize the chairman to execute a satisfaction of lien upon payment of the approved reduced amount, if any. That concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Any questions for staff? Seeing none, is the applicant here and desire to make any statements?
The attorney is here.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Capro.
Good afternoon. I'm here with Mr. Grime, who's the prospective purchaser of the property. The actual owners are Phil Capro, 5200 South US 17, Highway 1792, Suite 1000, Castleberry, Florida, 32707. The current owners are actually three sisters that are the heirs of the two prior owners. Historically, this was something that was handled by the couple that owned the property and then just sat and continued to accrue and continue to have time built because it took 9 years for, I guess, one of the spouses passed and then the other one got it fixed right before passing, before it got squared away. The new owner, the sisters, when they inherited it, didn't know about it at first until Mr. Bryan approached them about purchasing the property. And then when he started looking into it, the costs exceed what the value of the property would be. We did request a reduction to administrative costs. We also understand that that oftentimes does not adequately compensate the county. We provided an alternative if the commission did not want to accept the administrative costs. Then we had suggested that under the statute, if a code issue is deemed irreversible or uncorrectable, it's a maximum of $5,000. Since the current owners and the prospective purchaser can't fix something that's already been fixed, that was the logic that I was looking at. Certainly, they'd be happier with the lesser amount, but that's up to the will of the commission.
Okay. Any questions for the applicant?
I'd like to hear directly from the applicant, if that's okay. I'd like to hear from the applicant, the potential buyer.
Who's the potential buyer?
Hello, my name is Elliot Grime. I live at 683 Bear Creek Court, Winter Springs 32708. I own a general contracting company, so my intention on the property is to pull permits and revamp the property, new roof, new plumbing, electrical, air conditioning, all those kind of things, and bring it back to a home that can be lived in.
Okay.
Great. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and we have been maintaining the property since we've been in negotiations with the sisters, mowing the grass, getting trees trimmed professionally, and some other things to make sure that the neighbors were not inconvenienced.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none. Anybody here from the public to speak on this matter?
No, sir.
Seeing none, we will go to board action. Commissioner DeLaurie, this is your district.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. Since the person who just spoke is in buying the property, he didn't actually cause the issue. There was a death in the family. The people that actually now own the property didn't cause the issue. Now that they're bringing this back on path, and it's going to be a point where I believe that it's going to be an asset to the community since this is a contractor. The applicant, I'd like to make a motion to consider the final determination of the applicant's request and reduction of the lien administrative cost of $404.19. And should the lien be reduced, and authorize the chairman to execute the satisfaction lien upon approval, payment and approval reduction amount.
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Commissioner Herr?
So from my perspective, the acquisition is to, for lack of a better word, redevelop the property, which does accrue positively to the community. But this community lived with 9 years' worth of violations that, to me, that's a detriment to the community for nearly a decade. I would support moving it to $5,000. I'm struggling to support moving it to $440. I don't think $5,000 is punitive. I don't think $440 is the right number. As Commissioner Constantine has said 100 times, we don't do this math right. And we're still working on fixing that. So that's where I would lean on this. No pun intended.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
Well, we have had those conversations repeatedly about the administrative costs not really being reflective. Not to compare your situation to the case right prior to you, but from the basis of a medical hardship or a financial hardship, those are two of the things that we typically look at, which we don't really have here. I think something greater than the 440 would probably be more appropriate to be consistent with other decisions that we've made.
And Mr. Chairman, I'd like to amend the amount, but still keep the motion of bring it to $3,500.
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign? Seeing none, pass unanimously. Thank you all very much for being here today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, next up is the county attorney's report.
Chairman, I have no report today.
Fantastic. County manager's report.
Just a couple things. One, as a fellow tourist, that birthday is coming up. Mr. Jose Gomez's birthday is today, so
Happy birthday.
But also, we've had a great turnout for our Citizens Academy for the last 3 events that we've had. We've had over 300 citizens show up to those. We've got 3 more coming up over the next couple of weeks, so I just want to thank the citizens. I want to thank the board for allowing us to do this, as well as Chris Patton, Communications Group, as well as all of our directors and team members who are putting this together. And that's all I have, Chairman. Thank you.
Very well. We will go to district reports. Commissioner Constantine.
Thank you, and that was part of my thing. I've been to 2 out of the 3 Citizens Academies, and I just got chastised by Kim Warnberg for not being at hers. I apologize, but I wanted to tell you, Chris, I think this is a much better idea than that, that very straightforward, staid thing where you have to go to this and that, and I think it's worked out really well, and I congratulate all of you. On August 9th, or April 9th, the MPO had a transportation summit over at Lake Mary's Event Center. I want to congratulate Commissioner Delory for being the chairman of that and moving that forward. It was very interesting, and I think a lot of, I do believe that a lot of good ideas and really strategy came out there, and we'll see some of the results as we move forward. Also, yesterday it was great to be at the center at our Veterans Appreciation Luncheon. I really felt that was a wonderful event, the best one yet. Congratulations to all that were involved with that. This coming weekend, as you know, today is Earth Day. But this coming weekend, we have the Wekiva Island is going to have an Earth Day. We also have, or that's the Friday, I believe that the St. John's Festival of the Arts is coming up, always a great event, and the city of Castleberry is going to have an Earth Fest also. I do want to highlight the Harvest Times new program, which is a supply store and pantry for other nonprofits. And I think this is, something that we've all been really supportive of, is the nonprofits helping other nonprofits. And that they are going to put together a supply store and pantry that nonprofits can come in and pick up supplies and food and everything. I think is just a wonderful, wonderful idea, and goes really directly to their that organization's reason and statement of why they want, why they want to and how they want to help the community. Tomorrow is the Administrative Professionals Day. I hope we all remember that. And on the 25th, Seminole County, April 25th, 1913, Seminole County was founded. 112 years ago now. I still remember when I first got elected that Commissioner Lockhart was in charge of that 100th year anniversary.
Yes.
And
I was the party planner.
You were the party planner. You did a great job.
Thank you.
On the 28th, our county manager is going to have his birthday. He's going to be able to go into the ARP or whatever that is, AARP organization. But congratulations. I did want to mention a couple of things that I brought up before, and our Deputy County Manager, Tricia Johnson, and I have talked about a couple. One of them is the Senate Bill 818. If you recall, they were trying to take or require us, it's specifically Spectrum was leading the charge, to take away our ability to, or have to pay them and other cable companies when we had to disrupt the right-of-way in building roads. a substantial amount of dollars that would have cost us. In fact, the conservative estimate was $50 a square foot, so a mile, you can do the math, that's $250,000. And of course, once they got it, the other utilities would love to have it too. That has been amended to take out a super fund to the state. We're still going to lose money. It's up from the worst case scenario to only a bad situation, but they're going to take 7.5%. The bill currently takes away 7.5% of everybody's communications tax approximately, puts it into a super fund that they can then apply for. And, again, what the cable companies forget is the reason they're able to use our right-of-way for free was an agreement that was made way back when I was in the Senate, where they would pay, or they would get the utilities free if we would, our utility right-of-way to use our right-of-way, and they would collect a service fee tax. That's no longer, and as we all know, our communications taxes has been very level lately, in fact, going down a little bit. Well, now we can expect another 7.5% loss in that this year.
That's encouraging.
Yes. And that's the best scenario that we can expect. I did get word, however, that in the House Bill 943, which is the companion to 1730 of the changes in Live Local, there has been a retroactive date put in. Now, that does not mean that bill will pass. It just means, I'm not going to say anymore. It's just moving along.
Leave it alone.
I did, in talking about our 112th birthday, next year is the United States of America's 250th birthday. And I was hoping that, just asking that we start planning something. I don't know, you got it on your report too? Good. I would hope that we do something for that. I think it's important. Also, another person of significance that I think that we need to recognize, and this is something that I've talked to Darren about, and I hope that you all would agree. Our good friend and a person that has really highlighted Seminole County and Central Florida in the many years that he's been on television. Our friend Lee Corso is retiring from Seminole County, is retiring from game day, and he's an FSU, played football. The Scooter is what he was known as, but he played defensive back and quarterback. But he is going to be retiring at almost, I think he's 89 years old, 90 years old. But I think it would be great if we planned something really nice for him. He has really highlighted this community in Seminole County. If you've ever watched Game Day, he's always talking about how wonderful his home is here in Seminole County. And also, just a request that understanding that we have decided in the last meeting that we were going to end fluoride in our water, that when we do that, as we do that we do send notice. I would hope that we have a plan to send notice and alternatives to fluoride for thing. I've talked to you about that, Mr. Gray, and I just want to make sure that I did not just do it in a vacuum, and I let everybody know that there's something that I believe we should be doing. With that, that's the end of my.
Commissioner Lockhart.
So on April 11th, the city of Altamont and the Banyan East Town Apartments had a ribbon cutting for their new affordable housing project, which our team was very instrumental in making sure that it happened. There was support from a variety of different funding sources and our staff helping to pull that together. It was a great example of city, county, state, and federal, and the private sector coming together to make that project a reality. It's walking distance to the Altamont Sunrail station, and they are already 100% leased up. And this is a project for people at 60% of AMI or below. There are some folks in the 30% range as well, but just a beautiful, beautiful facility, beautifully located. So proud of everybody who made that happen. We need more projects like that in Seminole County. I did just return from Washington, D.C., traveling with Seminole State College as one of 10 finalists for the Aspen Prize, which means that your Seminole Community College, State College, is in the top 1% of colleges nationwide. While we didn't come away with the #1 slot, we learned a lot, and our competition was incredibly stiff. Now that we know who else is out there in this country doing great work along with us, we're already taking notes of applying again for the next round. And I can just tell you that that team represents not just the college, but this community so well. So be very, very proud of our Seminole State crew. I want to dispel a couple of things publicly about Rosenwald. There are some community rumors. I don't know where they're coming from, but that the county has sold Rosenwald to the state of Florida. That is not true. The county is still very much in ownership of Rosenwald, and we are still moving forward with the modifications to the property, the improvements, the community center, all of the things that we've talked about. Tricia and I are going, along with a couple of other staff members, to the May 12th Community Association meeting to be able to bring the latest, greatest, and update. I think we probably need to be sending out some postcards, maybe do some geo-fencing, social media, to just make sure that the facts are getting out, that as we work with Collage, to make sure that we have a website that is stood up that we can direct people to dispel rumors, because I'll tell you what, if any community is really great with rumors, it is East Altamont-Wynwood. They rock them. So, Administrative Professionals Day is tomorrow. I want to thank so much all of our team members who just put up with so much in supporting the work that goes on in every department and every office in this county. So thank you all. Talking about America's 250th, so funny that we both have that on our list. I did have a meeting with the Sally Harrison chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution, who are very interested in spearheading the planning for whatever that looks like. They are going to be sending a letter with a proposal of the types of things that they would like to do, asking for not only our support and collaboration, but the cities and the school district as well. I don't know exactly what that's going to look like, but as the party planner for Seminole County's 100th, I can tell you the amount of time, effort, and energy that it takes to put on that type of celebration. You really do have to start almost a year in advance, and we're just about there. So I would highly recommend that we give some direction to the county manager for what type of support, how much support we want to lend to that, and let someone else take the lead.
Historic Commission, get them involved.
And we talked about all of the different historic societies, because we have many of them in Seminole County, and the DAR would reach out to all of them and make sure that they are all included, and they could be the funnel point, if that's something that we would like to take them up on. But that is coming. I'm just going to point out, because I want so much to be able to talk with you all about the different committees that I serve on, and sometimes the conversations are a little tedious, but moving forward with the medical examiner discussion next month, I just want to put on the record that the county manager, our county manager, sent a letter to Marion's county manager with an official public records request, copied all of the other members of the medical examiner committee, their administrators as well, and to my knowledge, have we had any, not even, no. We haven't had a
receipt or?
thank you for your letter, we'll be back in touch with you?
No.
No, much less a response to the
Correct.
public records request. So part of my concern is that I am supposed to go on May 15th, 14th, back to this meeting with with Seminole County's proposal for our extraction from this cooperative agreement. But part of that proposal is based on some of the information that was supposed to be coming in that public records request, which we haven't received. So I just want to make sure that we are still in alignment, that regardless of the response or lack of response, we are extricating ourselves.
Is that a question?
Yes, it is well, I'm asking for confirmation of where I believe we left things the last time, and we left it that the letter was going to be sent, and that we would be assuming we would be getting a professional response, and we have not received that, and so
So I guess for me, I would just like to have some more updated information, where that actually stands. Has there been any dialogue or inquiries over the phone?
I was going to follow up with the manager,
Yeah.
Marion. I was going to give him I was waiting. Gosh, it's been a month, hasn't it, Christian? Probably over a month that we sent that letter, so I'll follow up with him before and see if we can get anything from them.
Isn't there a requirement of how long you have to turn around a public records request that's rather reasonable?
Reasonable.
But we didn't ask for that much information, right?
Right.
There's a requirement to acknowledge the request in the first place, and we didn't get that.
And so we missed
They're
that.
very busy.
And so I don't know that I need any more information. I think we have to tap out of it. I think Lake provides us with an alternative. I'm still on that path. And that being said, I'm concerned, and that path started with you, Chairman, and you're groaning over here, so I'm
not
really-
sure that, I think
Lake's having the discussion.
I think we need to make sure everybody's understanding what's going on over at Lake right now as far as the discussion and what they've asked us to do.
Do you want to do that now? I can actually have
Yeah, sure.
Christian.
Let's do it.
You want to do it? I can have Mr. Swenson come up and
Mr.
give
Chairman,
us an update.
and I think that it's reasonable to ask our county manager to reach out to Marion and say, what the heck's going on?
What's happening?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's that's the next step. We've got until, as Commissioner Lockhart said, May 14th. So it's not like it's going to happen tomorrow.
Right.
And I think we need to get to the bottom of why they're not being responsive.
I just hope even by telephone we get a response, because that has not been, good communication has not been
Not difficult.
necessarily what's occurred.
Go ahead.
Christian Swenson, Assistant County Manager. There has been some conversations with Lake. They've met with some of their constitutional partners on things, and they are discussing the feedback they got from their constitutional partners at the board meeting at their board meeting today, as well as some potential deal points that we sent over, which is kind of the stuff we talked about here and referenced the letter and the information coming over from the letter. So based upon what they come back with, the intent was to provide you an update at the next board meeting as to what their feedback is. But we're not sure if they're still able to partner with us or not, but that is part of their conversation today that they're having amongst their board.
Thank you.
So I'll make sure we put it on our
Yeah.
next board meeting.
Yeah, if you could. I think for me, critically, it was to make sure that our board knows where we are, that there's not been a response, and that if you are willing to continue to probe that response from them, that would be super helpful, because we are running out of time to bring it back to this board after we get the response from them.
Right.
And I'm good with that.
Okay.
Absolutely.
What's the constitutional have to do with?
The sheriff. So the sheriff and the state attorney are two of the most stakeholders that are involved, and so it's we've talked to our sheriff and our state attorney, and they are talking to theirs, and there seems to be differing opinions of whether or not it benefits them or not to.
Sure.
And we're in different districts, right? So-
And they're different medical districts in our district. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Herr.
I did tour the Sunrail Operations Center. It was fabulous. Thank you to FDOT. The Oviedo Women's Club Philanthropic Awards ceremony was on the 15th. They gave away $70,000 in scholarships to local Oviedo kids and to teachers, which was amazing over the tenure of their being that it's been around 1.2 million. It's just amazing impact of a group of ladies that sell stuff at a fair that we don't think very much of, but it's generating a ton of money, and it's amazing and appreciated. Do want to give a shout out to anybody that's listening. The 3 people that are listening, you should know that the tolling authorities, meaning the Expressway Authority, the Turnpike, FDOT, nobody sends you a text asking you to pay your tolls. Please do not respond. It is a scam. It is apparently a very lucrative scam, so we should all be on the lookout for that. Probably not a bad idea if we're doing any sort of public service announcements to include that, because it is rampant. There was a presentation at CFX with regard to EV toll, which these are the George Jetson, take off in a little plane and go to your destination, and his wife Janie.
And their boy Elroy.
And their boy Elroy, the one old person and the person who apparently watched reruns catches on. And if you would like to see that presentation, that might be worth bringing here, because it is interesting. It's a private entity that did it, and they're the ones that scope out land. And the notion is that as we're planning, they are looking for relatively small plots of land, but it has to be in relativity to all sorts of constraints with flying. But we need to be taking it into consideration as we're planning. And then I would like to make an official request that we have John Greenwood from Goldfinch come and present to us, not with regard to the employee benefit, we've already done that, but with regard to his billion pill pledge. It is so far the only opioid prevention program that I have found that actually does change the addiction rates in communities, and it is by education. It is a very low-cost structure, and we have the ability to not just get people unaddicted after they're addicted, but to stop the addiction in its tracks by stopping the number of prescriptions that are being handed out in providers' offices. And so it's about a 20-minute presentation. I'd ask, with your indulgence, that we listen to that.
I'm okay. I'm always happy to learn something new.
Yeah. Chairman?
Commissioners? I'm fine with it.
I'm okay with it.
All good, then. That was not the assumptive close, but that was a little awkward, but I'm going to go with it. And that concludes my report.
All right. All right. Commissioner DeLaury, you're up, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This Saturday, April 26th, from 3 p.m. to 9:30 p.m., the city of Oviedo is having a 100-year anniversary celebration. I know that hopefully you've all gotten invites. Just want to make sure that everyone got it, because I was asked to make sure that everyone received it. I also want to thank everyone who was able to go to the Veterans Appreciation Luncheon that we had yesterday, which was April 21st. We recognized the Korean War veteran. His name was General John McWaters. I also want to say thank you to everyone a part of that committee. We took over that issue with the Veterans Appreciation Luncheon in 2019, and we're an ad hoc group. We raise all our own money. We meet monthly, and I will tell you that we all have our strengths, and there's people that focus on the day of the event, there's people that focus on the programming, there's people that focus on the fundraising, and we have a chairman. The last 2 years was Charles Davis. The next 2 years will be Bobby Smith, and we all have a lot to be thankful for. We all work very hard on it. And I know Andy Wantog's in the back. We drive her a little bit crazy at times with the programming and the videos, but a lot of people spend a lot of time on that. We did, for the longest time, have it at the Sanford Civic Center. I want to thank the city of Sanford for allowing us to be there for the past 5 years for free. This year, we were able to strike a deal with the Marriott in Lake Mary. They were able to give us a phenomenal price, so we actually upped our game. We had to raise more money to do it. But if it wasn't for the Marriott, as well as the city of Sanford allowing us to use them as the fallback, if we couldn't raise the money, we're going to go back to the city of Sanford. But I want to thank the city of Sanford for participating in that. And everyone, but more importantly, thanking our veterans for the things that they gave up to serve this great country. It's a small, minor way to say thank you. And next year, I can't wait, because it's going to be even better than this year. And every year, we've been improving it, and we'll see what holds for next year.
Congratulations, Bob.
It was great.
Commissioner Gallardi?
Yes.
In response to the Oviedo invitation, I did get it through Commissioner Zembauer's office, but I got it Thursday.
Okay.
And so I already have so many things scheduled
That's
for
all right.
Saturday. It's just kind of a short notice.
I
But
was.
my apologies.
It's all right. I got notified a couple of days ago.
Okay, so yeah.
And so just letting you know that. And so that's the reason why they contacted me.
Yeah.
And they wanted to make sure that everyone got it because of the short turnaround.
Understood.
That was it.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
If I could, first of all, I want to apologize to Commissioner Herr that I left the room there. I saw that.
It was my best report
Ever? Well,
we
I'm
actually named you that you're going to be handling something for the future. Correct?
This may top it for you because it has to do something in your district. That was Representative Lopez and the senator that's sponsoring the bill, and they agreed together to move it to January 1st, 2023, the original date of the bill. So, that might,
Has to pass.
yeah, let's hope it works.
Great for that information. If I can continue, I got one more thing.
I apologize.
It's all right.
Bob. I apologize.
It's all right. This Saturday will be the Kids House Gala, April 26th. It's very important to us at Kids House. It's a major fundraiser. With all the funding shortfalls that we've been experiencing over the last years, every fundraiser is very important to us. So if you do come, please put on your calendar to be there, and please be generous. And it's our children that are.
It's a wonderful event.
It is a wonderful event. And then we also, as Commissioner Constantine spoke about, this April 28th on Monday is Darren Gray's birthday. So Darren, happy birthday.
Thank you.
AARP. End of my report.
See how nice that is, Commissioner Constantine? You don't have to add anything else to it.
I didn't mention.
Hey, I apologize to everybody else. I apologize to you, too.
I didn't mention his age. I just said happy birthday.
All right. My district report, April 12th, attended the Seminole County Citizens Academy at the Fire Department in Altamont. It was a great event. April 17th, attended the County Citizens Economic Development Tourism event out at Boomba. Also pretty well attended. I was not able to make the solid waste one this past weekend because of prior arrangements. Of course, April 22nd, keep in mind this evening, for those who are not aware, is Earth Day sunset hike out at Lake Harney from 7 to 8:30 p.m. at the Lake Harney Wilderness area. No registration, and it's free of charge. April 24th is the Scouts Golden Eagle Dinner, which is my fundraiser for the year. I know that several of you are already contemplating or planning to be there, so we look forward to seeing you there. April 25th, of course, already mentioned, is the birthday of Seminole County. It will be 112 years old. Also, April 25th here in Sanford, Women's Build Awards will happen. Great event. And on April 26th, we'll have the Earth Day celebration, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the Ed and Ima Jean Yarborough Nature Center. No registration required there either. Of course, April 26th also, there are a lot of things going on. The 100th anniversary City of Oviedo that was already mentioned, and the Kids House Gala. Also on May 1st, 2025, from 11:30 to 12:30, is the Sheriff's Faith-Based Community Team National Day of Prayer, which will be at the Lake Mary Stake of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints at 2255 Lake Emma Road in Lake Mary. Everything else in my district seems to be going along just fine. We also have an item before us for consideration by the board, which is appointment of 2 members to the Fred R. Wilson Memorial Law Library Board of Trustees. Hopefully, everybody's had a chance to review those. We have 3 candidates that have filled out applications to be put on that board. 2 of them, according to their applications, have previously served. So how would you all like to take these? Would you like to take them in order and just see how many votes each one gets, or somebody want to make nominations?
I'll
How
make
would
a
you like to do that?
nomination for Brianna Bynum.
Okay.
Second.
Motion second for Brianna Bynum.
Yep.
Any further discussion? All those,
Discussion. Okay, we have 3 people. We went 2. This would be the new person. Is that correct?
this is the person who on the application indicates they have not served there before.
Correct. And the other 2 have served.
According to the
And
application.
since we would be eliminating one of them, is there, is there a reason why this person would be better than those? And I'm just asking, since, you made the motion.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
And would you like to?
I wouldn't.
you would not?
I would not like to.
So I will tell you, I have met Ms. Bynum. She has a wonderful history in this county, serving as a prosecutor. So she's been in both the public and private sector. I think sometimes it's good to have new blood. And she is very interested in serving and looking at an opportunity to be a part of the library.
Nicely done. That was nicely done.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I really wanted to know. Thank you.
She has a recommendation from one of our current judges. I think the current administrative judge has recommended her, as well as another attorney here in town in practice who we all know very well. And I think she has a wonderful reputation.
And that's all I really wanted to know. Thank you.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign? Seeing none, carries unanimously. I'll be looking for a nomination for the next one of Mr. Mark Reyes or Mr. Daniel Kavanaugh.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to nominate Daniel Kavanaugh.
Okay, we have a motion for Mr. Kavanaugh.
Went to Lyman High School.
Do we have a second?
Both of them did. I'll second, but again, I would like to
Motion
know
and second.
any reason.
Any further discussion?
No particular reason, it's just that I've heard some nice things about him.
The only reason,
Commissioner Lockhart.
The only reason why I would recommend Mr. Reyes instead is because Mr. Reyes has recommendations from Mr. Kavanaugh and the other person on the board. So that spoke volumes to me that Mr. Reyes has the support of the other 2 existing members, and that maybe we should, as the more senior person, if you're adding a new person, sometimes it's good to have someone who is a veteran on a board.
Okay.
That was my logic, not, before Commissioner Delary made his motion, that was where my head was going.
Sure.
So
Sure.
just
Okay.
sharing that.
Any further input?
I was just saying, looking at both of their applications, they both seem that they have
both
done a
very
great job. They're both Lyman High School graduates, so that's not the only reason, but
Right.
I do see that both of them have a lot of references from folks. I'm going to go, because I don't really have a preference. I don't know these 2 gentlemen well. I think I've met both of them, but I'm going to go with the recommendation of Commissioner Delary as far as, the appointment.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
3-2. Mr. Kavanaugh is the second individual to sit on that board. If we could make sure staff gets with Ms. Bynum and Mr. Kavanaugh. Also let the other folks over at the Law Library understand. Thank you all very much. And now we will go to public comment for items that are not on the agenda. Do we have anyone here to speak on the agenda or non-agenda items?
Yes, sir. Mr. Morgan would like to speak.
Mr. Morgan, welcome. Did Mr. Morgan fill out a form for us?
It'll be filled out.
Okay, great. Thank you.
She's going to strong arm him and make sure he fills it out.
Yes. From the City of Longwood, Mr. Matt Morgan, who's council member there at City of Longwood. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, guys. I know you guys are super busy, so thanks for giving me the time today. Also, I wanted to invite you guys on April 26th, ironically, this Saturday, our City of Longwood's 3rd annual Walk for Autism Awareness and Inclusion. It's at Ryder Park from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., so it's right before the Kids House Galas, before the Oviedo celebration. You guys can get a full day in. But I personally wanted to come invite you. It's a project for both me and my wife, Larissa. As you know, we have a nonverbal autistic son, Jackson, who's 11 now. And one of the things is we have so many services in this community for autism that a lot of our autistic families don't know about yet. So we came up with the idea 3 years ago to have Seminole County's very first Walk for Autism awareness event. And now we're going on to our 3rd this Saturday with the thesis is two-pronged. It's one, getting vendors to come free of charge. We'll have over 55 different vendors that specifically serve in the space of autism services for all of these neurodiverse families to learn more about and maybe get their kids signed up for the help that they may need. And secondarily, to get our neurotypical and neurodiverse families intermeshing a lot more. And this event definitely does that with the walk in solidarity around Ryder Park. The actual walk itself is very short. And it shows our kids that, look, everybody is all different shapes, sizes, makes, and models, and have different abilities of speaking or not speaking and communicating. And the autism rate's only going up, it's not going down. And so our community really needs to learn how to intermesh with those that don't communicate like maybe you and I do. And it's a really good opportunity for kids that are neurotypical to meet some neurodiverse kids and adults just alike. So it's 11 a.m. this Saturday, Ryder Park in Longwood, and we'll have a splash pad will be open. Everybody's invited, all kids, everybody. Bounce houses, water slides, mini goats, mini horses. You can feed and pet rabbits, which is going to be really cool for neurodiverse kids that love that sensory integration component of this event. So much more. Disney princesses, actual real Disney princesses who play these at Disney World will be there. And if you know anything about autistic kids, at least mine at least, absolutely love themselves some Disney princesses, especially Princess Sophia, for the record. That's his girl, he loves her. And again, thank you for giving me the time, and hope to see you guys there if you're able to make the time. Thank you for all you're doing for our community.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Commissioner Morgan, when does the walk actually start?
That's a great question. I would say if the event starts at 11, I'm going to say around 11:45-ish. Yeah.
Matt, is there a website, Matt, if someone wants more information?
Just City of Longwoods. It'll be on the City of Longwoods website, along with City of Longwoods Facebook, Instagram, and X accounts.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you very much.
I have another question for Commissioner Morgan.
Yes.
Can you give us an update on your city manager search? We're going to miss Mr. GOL.
Oh, my God, you are.
Yeah, I know you are, too, but
Good Lord, yeah.
where are you? What are you doing?
We're right now, we're just starting the process. We have a acting city manager now that was from a fire department, Will Watts. He had his very first meeting with us last night. I thought he did really stellar. He did an amazing job, especially being his first meeting. But yeah, we got to go through the process of, not to be a jerk, or finding somebody that's irreplaceable. He is. You guys know how important it is to have, you have one right now, a great county manager.
He's telling me to take notes.
You guys
Thank
know.
you. Thank you.
Thank you for the compliment to Clint. You're right. He was MVP of our city without a doubt. That was really nice. Thank you.
He will be missed.
Yes.
Great. Thank you very much.
Good luck on your search.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good. Anything else for the good of the order? Seeing none, we shall be adjourned.